What up, y'all? So, what if I told you there was one thing that could break the barriers of your mind, that could really unlock your power, that could help you get over anxiety and depression and limiting beliefs and start to unlock the most authentic version of yourself? That is quite literally, as I was thinking back through my transformation process, that is what meditation did for me. Meditation is so powerful. Before we get into that, give this video a like, hit me with a subscribe, and comment down below your experiences with meditation. Do you like it? Do you not like it? And how meditation has helped you transform, because it has helped me transform like crazy. So, what is the point of meditation? Okay, meditation is not some kind of like abstract hippie thing where you just sit. I mean, you do just sit there pretty much. But meditation is not some like woo woo spiritual thing. Meditation is really like taking your mind to the gym and training it and getting it stronger so that you can start using it to your favor instead of letting your mind control you. The point of meditation, there's a lot of uses for meditation, but I think the point of meditation is to gain mastery over yourself and over your mind, and to be able to learn how to control your mental states. And why is this important? Because, like I talked about in previous videos, your mind is creating everything in your existence. So when you start learning to, for example, when you feel anxiety come up, when you learn to return back to the present moment, and that is another key of meditation and why it's so powerful, is because it trains your mind to come back to the present moment, where anxiety can't exist, depression and thinking about the past really can't exist. And I know it might be controversial to some people, but I feel like we are creating a lot of those like limiting beliefs. We're creating those in our head. And when our focus is in the present moment, a lot of those things do not exist. We're not overthinking things. We're simply just learning how to be and be authentic and not worry about what other people think and just be our most authentic self. And that's where our power is unlocked. So let's say, for example, I love using anxiety as an example because this pretty much made me heal most of my anxiety. Of course, I still have it to some extent, but when I feel it coming up, I can consciously return my focus back to the present moment where it's not affecting me anymore. So, social anxiety, for example. If you're scared to go up and talk to someone, but you know you have to make new friends, or performance anxiety, that was a huge one for me. What if you could simply just shift your perspective back to the present moment? Those anxieties would not exist. And now, like, you're in a state, for example, where you're not just constantly worried. You are, if you're at a job, I think performance anxiety, for me, it was for sports, but I think it could work at a job as well. If you're constantly just overthinking things, or you're worried to speak up, or you have a speech, consciously bringing your attention. I do it before every YouTube video. I sometimes feel a little bit anxious still to record a YouTube video and talk at my phone. But beforehand, I take a second and I just breathe a little deeply, return my focus back to the present moment, and I start to feel expansive. A lot of times when we deal with anxiety or fear, you can literally feel your whole being contract. And so when we feel expansive, we are more powerful, we are more authentic, and we can act more naturally as ourselves, and we get over a lot of these mental blocks that are holding us back. So there have been studies done on how a meditator, normally we're in a brainwave state, and you can look into brainwave states, but we're in a brainwave state that if you drew it on a graph, it looked like that. When you start to meditate, your brainwave activity slows down and you enter a state called alpha, where you are relaxed, but it's like that feeling of focused relaxation. And there have also been studies done on how meditation over a long period of time consistently can actually increase gray matter in the brain. And gray matter sounds bad, but it's actually good. It actually grows your brain. It's good for memory, good for focus, and it also decreases the likelihood that you will have dementia. People with more gray matter in the brain are less likely to have dementia. So you're safeguarding against dementia as well, which is pretty cool. I can almost guarantee you that a lot of the high achievers, like people in business, people in sports, use meditation to some degree. I think it is extremely, I can't say this enough, how extremely powerful it is to be able to control your mental state in any situation, to constantly recenter yourself. And from that centered place, from that place of presence, you can start to create what you want. And you are not as influenced from outside sources like I talked about in my last video, or not my last video, 2 videos ago, about the subconscious mind, how we're just constantly influenced by everything we take in. If we start to meditate and we start to observe and we start to control the mind how we want to control it, we are less likely to be influenced by sources that are negative, sources that hold us back from being the best version of ourselves. So another example, a few weeks ago, I was like almost deathly afraid that I was going to miss a flight, a connector flight, because I'd never missed a flight before, and I was like, I don't even know what to do about that. And I felt the anxiety come up. So one thing about meditation is that you're not going to stop anxiety. You might get to a level where you stop anxiety and you're just so comfortable in every situation that you can't be affected, but it's going to be tough to really stop the anxiety. Where meditation is powerful is that you lessen the time that an anxiety or fear has over you. So I was sitting on that plane flying into, I forget where I was going into, I think St. Louis for my connector flight. And I was just sitting there and I was just trying to recenter myself. I was just trying to bring my attention back to the present moment. And then I got to a place where I was like, okay, I'll accept either way is going to turn out right. Either way is going to turn out in my favor or be for my highest good. And I just centered myself in those thoughts and I felt good. The anxiety went away. And lo and behold, got to the airport and it was just absolute perfect timing. So meditation can be a great way to accept the things that you face, accept the things that you're struggling from, and learn from them, and then become more powerful on the other side. Above all, one tip I would give for meditation is to just do it consistently. Over time, you will look back and you will realize how much you have changed mentally. You will literally start to be able to control your mind and control your life. When you meditate for a while and you start to observe your thought patterns and you start to observe your triggers, start to observe when your anxiety comes up, when you feel depressed, because you know how depression works. I haven't talked too much about depression, right? But depression, yeah, it might always be in the background, but sometimes you just like forget about it. Usually when you're like engrossed in something and when you're in that flow state, and that's really what you could also call the present moment or the meditative state is the flow state. When we're into something and time seemingly doesn't exist. Do you feel depressed during that state? No, but then you're done the task at hand and then you come back and then the depression hits you again, right? So that's why meditation is also so impactful, is because we can observe those triggers that make us feel depressed, that make us feel anxious. We can observe how our thoughts work when we feel fear, when we feel negative, or when we feel limited, or when we feel scarce, when we feel scarcity, right? And we're observing our mental patterns, and then we can change them. They are changeable in the direction that we want to go. So that's my video today, a little bit shorter, not as much in depth, but good intro to meditation. Hopefully it motivated you to learn about meditation and to see which way works best for you. So, peace.